What's good, guys? 2-minute warning. Fury's back at it again. We got Tim, we got Dula, we got Josh. We got a good show for you guys. And the first thing we're going to start off is talking about the Chiefs. Jamaal, he's injured. Looked like maybe out for the rest of the season. What is going on with the Chiefs, Tim? What's up? What's good?
Well, hi guys.
What up?
Hope you guys enjoyed a good week of football like I have. But I'm gonna answer that, Sean. Jamaal Charles, they saying now he's on IR, but he could return later in the season. Now, how does this affect the Kansas City Chiefs? I really think it doesn't. They had Spencer Ware. Well, Spencer Ware just got concussion last week, but I'm pretty sure he'll be fine going forward. You have Kendrick West. They was working out a couple other running backs. I don't think that's really the problem. I think the problem is going to be them losing with Alex Smith with a concussion, and now they have to go with Nick Foles. So that to me is going to be the Chiefs' challenge. As far as Jamaal Charles, 28, 29 years old, I think this might be his last year with the Chiefs. I think next year in the offseason he'll be let go. Or if the Chiefs can find somebody who's a contending team who needs a running back, I think that'll be the option way to go to get some picks for him.
Yeah, Charles definitely helps out the passing game, and he's so elusive when he's catching out of the backfield, but they're not going to be hurting too much in the running game. You got Ware and West, they're averaging 5 and 4.2 respectively, so, they're not really going to miss too much of a beat from the running game. They prepared for this. They knew Charles was fragile, and that's why they got depth prepared for it. So, like you said, it probably will hamper on, Foles being in the QB slot now, and at this point, we'll just have to see how they, progress with Foles at the QB, but that's their biggest worry is Smith being out.
It's one of those things with a running back. It's happened to a few Kansas City running backs and just in general. I can think of Larry Johnson being one of them. I think of Priest Holmes being another one. He's been hurt a lot, and this guy has torn his ACL, 2 or 3 times? Or has had knee problem, at least 2 or 3 times in his career.
Right.
I'm looking up his contract right now. He's on the hook for $7 million next season. $3 million of that's a roster bonus. His base salary is $3.75. I don't think he's there next year. It's a pretty, if you look at the dead money that they get from that, it's not terrible. So I don't think he's there next year. I don't know if he plays at all next year. You'll see how his knee holds up. Knee injuries on running backs aren't great.
Yeah, he might be in like an Arian Foster situation where it's going to take a team real desperate in that running back need department to take a chance at him or sign him. Hope he produces.
Well, you know what? How about this? If we all say that he can get traded next year or he can be signed as a free agent, what team right away you think would benefit from him for them to get him? Me personally, I'm thinking the Patriots.
Belichick would definitely find a way to use Charles, but at the same time, they already got their own in Deion Lewis, and he's earning probably, like a fifth of what Jamaal Charles is earning. So, as far as a fit, though, for Charles on another team, I never really thought about that. That's a good question. He could definitely be used in the Ravens organization, though, I think.
I'll throw out another AFC North team for you. I think he'd be fit in Pittsburgh. I think he'd be fit in Pittsburgh. He'd be kind of the change of pace back. And you wouldn't have to play him a ton of snaps. You already have a starter, so
right.
That's a contending team. I could also see him going to a team like San Diego. Again, you're not going to play a ton of snaps with Melvin Gordon there, but it's a nice change of pace. But
listen, I think as long as he's not being the main one carrying the ball, and being the main guy, he's just a complimentary guy. I think any contending team could definitely benefit from having him. Next one, we got some news with Trent Williams, the Redskins left tackle, out for the next 4 games for controlled substance. Now, listen to this. The Redskins in the bye week, they're 4-3-1 with that tie. All right. The next 4 games is the Vikings, who are 5-2, the Packers, who are 4-3, my Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, who are 6-1, and the Arizona Cardinals, who are 3-4-1. Now, I'm gonna say this: not having your is bad, but what makes it even worse is that you don't have a really good backup who can hold down the fork for the next 4 games, and you're playing teams with a good record. Even though Arizona Cardinals are 3-4-1, we all know that they're better than what their record says. I see the Redskins going 0-4 for the next 4 games. 0-4. Kirk Cousins will be running for his life.
It'll be interesting, because left tackles obviously don't grow on trees. If tackles did, nobody would have O-line problems. You're talking about Kirk Cousins' blind side, and that's the most important position on the line. And he's not going against soft-ass D-lines, in the next 4 weeks. The Vikings, Packers, Cowboys, they all have great D-lines, and they're going to come after Kirk Cousins, especially from that side now. So, like you said, Tim, I'll be surprised if they can squeeze out a win. That's going to be a tough road to go down. I don't know if they really got the defensive depth to keep up with all that. On the offense, if they don't produce, I just don't see that Redskins D having the fatigue and stamina to keep up.
Listen, your blindside protector, Trent Williams would be an elite one, and honestly, there may be 6 or 7 elite left tackles in the league. So once you have one, you don't want to lose it, especially over this. Do I see them going over? No. I think if there's a game that I think they'll win, I would say Green Bay. I think they're kind of unraveling a little bit, so that might be a game where they might be able to sneak them. But I think the bigger issue is with Trent Williams is this going to happen again? Is he going to be Lane Johnson next season and miss 10 games?
Right. Hey, listen, especially Josh, we both were saying about the teams. I'm not gonna say the Cowboys got a top 5 defense, but as far as pass rush, Minnesota and the Cardinals, oh my God, it doesn't look right for Kirk Cousins, especially where you have a lot of injuries to your team already in the offense. First of all, you have questions about your running back with Matt Jones, who seems that he can't hold on to the football, he fumbles. So you have the backup Kelly, who is, he's a rookie. Then you have Deshaun Jackson, who can't stay healthy. Your best weapon is a slot receiver in Crowder. If he's not scoring a touchdown on special teams or getting those short passes and take it to the house, let's keep it real. Not having your left tackle, how is Kirk Cousins going to deliver that football?
All right, moving on, guys.
I just don't see it. My Dallas Cowboys. Oh, did you guys see that game? Did you guys feel the energy when Dak Prescott came back in the 4th quarter to take it to overtime and to now win that game in overtime? Did you guys in 4th and 1? Did you see how the sideline he told Garrett, "I'm getting this. Let's go for it." Listen, I know, Josh. I know you was like, wow. Della, I know you were saying, why the hell we didn't draft this guy to back up Matthew? I know it. And Sean, he will be better than Russell Wilson. But I'm gonna ask a good question that Jamie Jackson, our 2-minute warning brother, he asked early in the week. If Dak Prescott continue his good ways, we all know he might have another bad game. But we all know that he's the future. He's it. And the signs are pointed that Tony Romo is done as a Cowboy this year, regardless of anything. Jamie Jackson asks, where would Tony Romo end up next? Will he end up on another team? Will he end up just retiring from football? What do you guys think?
Competitive spirit like Romo, I'm sure he doesn't want to go out on a back injury. I'm sure he still wants to get another year or two in. As far as the destination, that's a really good question. And it's going to be one of those teams that's hurting right now, obviously, like either the Browns. Who knows? Maybe he could be like a little Joe Montana and end up in Kansas City. They're lacking a QB who can actually have a deep ball, and they've lacked one for quite a few years now. Nothing else really comes to mind. Imagine him in Jacksonville, though. Honestly, with the corpse that he would have down there, he would actually be pretty productive down there in Jacksonville. But at the same time, it really comes down to who can afford his contract too. And I don't know if Jacksonville really has a lot of cap space, especially for all the rookies and first round draft picks they got coming up in a few years.
What if he's cut June 1st?
You gotta wrap it up.
What if he's cut June 1st?
Let's hear Dula's take.
I think he'll be on his couch. I think this is it. Looking at his options, where's he going to go? Does he want to go to Cleveland, who might go 0-16 this year? Does he want to go to Jacksonville or Miami, who chronically underachieves? Would he start over Alex Smith is the question. I mean, does he want to go over to Houston? There are many options for him. And you know what? I would not be mad if he called it quits. He had a great career. And, believe it or not, I think he's done a lot for that franchise.
I think regardless if he comes in and plays this year toward the end of the season or in the playoff, depending what happens with Dak, I still feel regardless, this is it for him. He'll be cut next year, or if he'll be cut for sure. There's no way of restructuring his contract or his deal to make it cap friendly for Dallas. So I just think he'll be cut June 1st and right off to the sunset.
All right, interesting.
All right, guys, that's the first down. We'll be back for the second down.
Russell Wilson's terrible.
Yes, he was against the Saints. That was horrible. That
was a joke of a game.
That was horrible. That was a
it's
real
his ankle, you guys.
horrible
Come
one.
on now.
Listen, whatever Sierra doing.
Well, he's a daddy now.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.